It's very warm here. What's cooking good looking? Today is all about Stray, or as I got to know this game, HK Project. I actually found out about this ages ago. I think it was 5 years, 3 years, 7 years. I have no idea. Time is relative. I don't know how long ago it was. But I found it on an indie page and it was like just a couple animations, just a couple screenshots of a cat wandering neon lit alleyways. And I was like, this looks kind of cool. I need to remember that. And I promptly forgot about it. Up until the point when I watched a Sony presentation and there was the trailer. The trailer for Stray. And for the first moment I was like, wait, did they steal it? Which obviously makes very little sense. The game is about a stray. You play a stray cat in the game Stray. This cat is living its wonderful life with some cat friends in the wall of a walled city. Obviously the cat doesn't know about the city, most likely at least, until it falls into this city. And then it finds robots, it finds weird head crab face hugger creatures that want to eat it, and it then needs to find a way out. So far so good, right? The game is in parts. As I said, the game was called HK Project for Hong Kong Project. It's inspired by Asian culture. You see that in the visuals, like the costumes, the robots wear, for example. So I was pretty sure that I wanted to do a recipe from this area. My recipe today are Hong Kong Egg Tarts. That is a dessert. And if you know the Portuguese pastéis de nata, I probably said that so wrong, or the UK version, which is just custard tarts, you might have an idea of what I'm about to make. These are the ingredients you'll need for today's dish: flour, butter, water, sugar, evaporated milk, eggs, and vanilla extract. Check out the recipe in the description down below for the exact amounts. Stray is what you get if you combine Cyberpunkt with the cat next door. Lots of neon lights, a futuristic city, way too sentient robots, and the Zerk. Creatures that look a lot like head crabs or carca hatchlings that eat everything. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The game by the French developer Bluetwelvestudio tells the story of a cat trying to leave this mysterious decaying city devoid of human life. And if you own a cat yourself, you know how persistent they can be. Your companion on this adventure is a little drone, fittingly called B12. It translates, analyzes, hacks, and digitalizes anything you might need. I'd honestly really like to have one myself. Being able to store pretty much whatever in a digital pocket dimension could come in so handy. B12 also enables you to talk with the race of robots inhabiting parts of the city. And those interactions are, in my opinion, the highlights of the game. So if you decide to give Stray a shot, don't skimp out on the talking. Apart from smaller side quests with these robot people, the main story will lead you through multiple areas of this urban maze. And that's where the Zerk come in. These little monstrosities evolved from some kind of bacteria, and now they're just happily munching on everything and anything. The robots are terrified of them, and at first even think that the little kitty is one of them. The misunderstanding is cleared up, and you now work together on the quest to reach the surface. Jumping puzzles, various riddles, memory collecting, and a lot of Zerk dodgery await. But enough about evil facehuggers for now. Let's get cooking. Preheat your oven to 190 degrees top and bottom heat and add the flour to a big bowl. Add the salt, wash your hands, and don't forget to take off the jewelry. Add the cube butter at room temperature and go for it. Now it's kneading time till you have a rather dry dough with some scraggly pea-sized chunks. Then add the water and more kneading till it's smooth and more compact. Get some saran wrap or a freezer bag and put the dough inside. Refrigerate it for about 20 minutes. Now sprinkle your countertop with flour and roll out the dough into a strip of roughly 50 by 15 centimeters. Fold up the two outer thirds into the middle. Maybe try to do it a bit better than I do. Lift it up very, very gently so it doesn't undo all your work. Turn it 90 degrees. Add some more flour to the countertop if needed. And place it back down. And time for the rolling pin yet again. The size should be about 15 to 20 by 50 centimeters. Doesn't have to be exact. Now you lift the two outer thirds up again. It should now be much easier and the dough becomes more compact. Again, put it in a freezer bag or saran wrap and refrigerate it for at least an hour. Add the sugar to a bowl and add the hot, almost boiling water. Use a whisk to stir it until all the sugar dissolves and wait till it's back to room temperature. Then add the evaporated milk, the vanilla extract, and the eggs. 1, 2, and egg number 3. Again with a whisk until you have a smooth liquid, but the bubbles need to go. So get another bowl with a sieve ready and pour it through so the bubbles and the foamy bits stay on top. This is how it's supposed to look. Again, flour on the countertop. It's always a good idea so nothing sticks. Get the dough out of the fridge. More flour. Especially on the rolling pin this time, so you don't ruin all your hard work, and roll it out to about 3mm thickness. Next, use a cookie cutter or something alike of about 10 centimeters diameter and cut out as many of those circles as possible. Put the leftover dough back together. Roll it out again 3mm. And try to get as many circles out as possible. Should be between 14 and 16. Then take those aside and get your tins ready. Either use individual tins or, as I do here, a muffin tin. Place the dough circles inside with maybe a little bit of a lip and then use fork or chopsticks to crimp the edges. No mechanical need, it just looks a bit nicer. Fill each dough shell about 3/4 of the way, so there's a nice little lip of dough left, but it's mostly full. If you have any left over, by the way, you can just bake it in a separate muffin tin and you'll have some flan. Bake it for about 25 minutes and that's how it's supposed to look. The custard will sink a bit, but don't worry, that's how it's supposed to be. And you're done! Now you just need to wait a bit till they've cooled down. Patience is difficult, I know, so let's bridge the wait with some more information on Stray. You know now what this neon punk feline adventure is all about, but you might ask yourself, what makes this a game? What are the mechanics? So, first of all, trust the game when it says controller preferred. Some segments can really be tricky on mouse and keyboard if you don't have some additional fingers somewhere. What am I talking about? So, these hungry zergs have a hankering for cat, and you have to escape them a lot. Or explode them once you have two means to do that. These hunts can get quite intense, but at least they're pretty straightforward. The stealth segments you'll have to deal with later in the game were a much bigger hassle, because there were moments where the game clearly showed its indie roots. Some bugs, some lags, some glitches, stuff like that. Most of the issues I encountered were more charming than problematic, but the ones that fit the later category were quite annoying. It's actually similar to how I experienced the story. Most of it was fun and charming and interesting, but not everything worked for me. And I'm not talking technology now. Some story beats, especially the ones surrounding the little drone buddy, just felt a bit off. Don't get me wrong though, Stray is still a good game and an actually great indie, but it's not without faults. I can forgive most of them, but I kind of need an explanation for those weird as heck eyeball hallways. Please, someone? Anyone? Stray is more world lore than actual story. You see so many little bits and pieces that you can puzzle together in your head, and the actual story is kind of comparatively weak, which is a bit sad, but in my opinion they should have focused probably even more on just the world building and toned down the story even more, even though it's already kind of bare bones. I'm not sure where I'm going with this. I think the world is beautiful. I think this companion robot race is really cool. They are so full of character and flavor. Like there are some that sell hats, some that sell clothes. They are like remembering how flowers smell, which is not necessarily something a robot might do. So there's this hint about them maybe being humans or something like it. There are so many little bits and pieces, and I'm definitely going to go back and spend so much more time exploring this part of the game. I really wish they would have put even more focus on what they were clearly so good at and reduce the stealth or hunting segments. They just sometimes felt off and a bit like they overstayed their welcome. In general, I'm not 100% sure how much the game succeeded at making me feel the way I'm supposed to feel. Because, for example, you have this little drone, and I didn't feel emotional about that thing at all. Not at all. And it's such a major character. The cat that doesn't say a word was way cooler. The moments when the drone was gone and you really just talked by like the robots gesturing at you and stuff like that, that felt very alive. So sometimes it felt like too much talking actually was detrimental. I will definitely go back into the game because I found out that there is a Red Panda mod for the cat. So that's it for today. I hope you will enjoy eating these egg tarts as much as I enjoyed making them. The recipe is, as always, down there in the description. If you decide to give it a shot, please send me a picture or tag me in one. I always love to hear of your experiences. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe while you're at it. It really helps me out a lot. Hope your day is as good as gold. See you next time.